Just ahead on 7 News at 11, rising rates finally coming down. But some will get more rate relief than others. We'll explain live. A violent crime going down outside a South Florida restaurant, and you saw the critical clue first on 7. A computer crime caught on camera, the suspects caught by police. As the president prepares his State of the Union, terrorists step up attacks in Iraq. A winter storm sends a ship on its side, cargo overboard, and oil into the sea. The bees are back, and getting them to buzz off requires a new tactic. The Colts and Bears headed to Miami. Now it's time to get your gear on. 7 News at 11 is on now.
Live from the news station, this is 7 News at 11.
Right off the top at 11 o'clock, as the gavel comes down, so do insurance rates. But as some celebrate the rate relief, others say this doesn't go nearly far enough. Some people will benefit more than others from the insurance package. Hello again, everyone. I'm Belkis Nuray.
I'm Craig Stevens, but despite its flaws, it seems certain to become law. 7's Dave Cartoonan has been covering the special session from the beginning. He joins us tonight once again with his live update. Dave?
Well, Craig, the only thing this bill needs is Governor Charlie Crist's signature at the bottom. But even just after these votes went down, there was a considerable amount of hand-wringing over whether this bill went far enough.
The clerk will unlock the machine and the members will proceed to vote.
With just 2 no votes, members of the Florida House of Representatives approved a massive insurance bill Monday they hope will deliver relief to Florida homeowners with soaring wind insurance rates.
40 yeas, 0 nays, Mr. President.
The Senate wasted no time following suit without a single vote in dissent. The 50-page bill, only completed after a grueling week-long special session, will establish a new government super catastrophe fund made up of $32 billion of public money that would be used to provide cheap backup insurance to private companies. Lawmakers believe that would give high-risk South Florida homeowners with private windstorm insurance an average rate reduction of 30%.
It's like that patient that was hemorrhaging. We've stabilized the patient. We now have a patient that is not bleeding anymore, and from here on out, the healing process begins.
But customers of Citizens Insurance, the government insurer of last resort, can expect just an average of 15% reduction off their 2006 bill, with no new increases this year. With more than 400,000 Citizens customers in South Florida, many local lawmakers believe the new law may bring a reduction, but not relief.
If you're in the Citizens risk pool, you need a lot more than this bill is doing to say that it's true relief. Your rates are so high right now that more needs to be done.
I just believe that we could have done a lot better.
Well, this is a step in the right direction. That's all this is. This is not the panacea. This is not the fix-all. And frankly, I'm very disappointed that this bill didn't go further.
The bill now goes to Governor Charlie Crist, who all but said Monday afternoon that he'd sign the bill.
We are going to lower rates in a meaningful way, and it's going to actually happen. This is a great beginning. This is a great start. It's exactly what the people of Florida expected us to do.
So by law, the governor has 14 days to sign the bill. That could come as early as tomorrow afternoon. But all of this comes with a huge caveat. None of this reserve money, that $32 billion we talked about, has been built up yet. And if Florida has so much as a moderate-sized storm this year, all of this work could be rendered useless. We're live in Tallahassee tonight. Dave Cartoonan, 7 News at 11.
More now on surveillance video you saw first on 7. A man shot to death outside a South Florida restaurant. Police hope these final photos of his life will generate new leads. The disturbing crime still unsolved, the case growing colder by the day. Now investigators hope for help from the public. 7's Rosh Lowe on the story for us. He's live with details. Rosh?
Craig, first off here, North Miami Beach police are being extremely proactive with this case. They realize that a killer is on the loose. They need to do everything they can. And yet again today, another piece, possibly, of crucial evidence is released in the pursuit of justice. They want our viewers to step forward if they have any pertinent information. Khan Tim stands in front of his television watching the surveillance video 7 News first aired. It is video of his son's last seconds on this earth. His son, Bradley Tim's car careening to a stop. His family hoping the release of this video will generate leads in Brad's murder.
I'm hoping that, the video, there was a ton of people there. You can see it in the parking lot. That somebody will just come forward. Somebody must know something. Somebody must have seen something.
All right, here comes Brad. You can see how tall he is there.
You pass the railroad tracks. You pass Biscayne.
And he's walking out from the restaurant, walking into the parking lot.
It is the first time we are seeing surveillance video of the night Dr. Bradley Timp was murdered in December. He walks out of the Houston's restaurant in North Miami Beach, gets into his Cadillac.
By this time, the whole incident is over.
So you think he's dying now in that car?
He's shot already. And he stops, probably realizing that he's hurt. And then you're going to see the car lurch forward. And the car is going to crash into some parked cars that are parked in the front of the business.
You can see here people rushing out of the Houston's restaurant. They think there's been a car accident. They rush over to Brad's car. It is too late. Timp is dead. Timp played basketball for the University of Miami. He was a successful chiropractor. The motive for his murder thought to be a carjacking.
In releasing the video, I'm hoping that it'll jar somebody's memory so that perhaps that video, by seeing that video, it will let them know to come forward, or they can remember a car leaving or seeing somebody running or anything.
I could visualize him in the car, and I'm sure he was probably knew he was hurt pretty badly to the point where he was trying to get help, and it's very sad.
Brad was fighting there until the final moments. If you have any information here, give North Miami Beach Police a call. 305-949-5500 is your number. Remember here, the FBI is also involved in this investigation. The right tip could mean $30,000 for you. We are live tonight in North Miami Beach. Rosh Lowe, 7 News at 11.
Also in the news tonight, police say they've caught the culprits behind a computer caper. The pair seen on this surveillance tape charged with stealing some $50,000 in laptops meant for students at the Sheridan Technical Center. Police say those computers are still branded with the school's logo. Hollywood police arresting a 17-year-old student along with an accomplice. One of the suspects remains in jail tonight.
A brutal beating caught on camera. 5 juveniles seen pounding a man back in December and videotaping the whole thing. Police arresting 4 suspects who allegedly confessed. The assault taking place in an alley along the 4100 block of Northwest 12th Street in Lauderhill. Police believe the man was homeless. They have yet to locate him.
Police still searching for a bank bandit on the run. The Citibank along 500 East Broward Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale burglarized by a man who handed a teller a note demanding cash. The suspect then fled on foot with the money.
NFL quarterback cleared after an incident at Miami International Airport. Atlanta Falcons star Michael Vick will not face charges. Authorities say Vick hesitated when asked to throw out his water bottle when he passed through a security checkpoint there. That bottle had a secret compartment which officials first thought contained marijuana residue. Lab tests later concluded, though, there was no evidence of drugs.
Now on 7 News at 11, a deadly weekend for Americans stationed in Iraq. Insurgents targeting troops, killing dozens in 2 separate attacks. All this as the president prepares to address the nation. 7's Tom Haynes live in the Satellite Center with more on this for us. Tom?
Belkey's with death and violence breaking one record after another inside Iraq. The president will have the world's full attention when he delivers his State of the Union address just hours from now.
Sirens pierce the air on the streets of Baghdad. The dying and wounded are rushed to area hospitals. 2 suicide bombers detonate 400 pounds of explosives in a popular Shiite shopping area.
Those who did this are not men. No, they are not. A man is judged by his actions, but they are not men.
Each of the bombs packed with nails and shrapnel to inflict maximum casualties. At least 88 people are killed, 150 others wounded. Military analysts say insurgents are striking an unprecedented blow before 20,000 additional U.S. troops arrive.
Clearly, what they see is an opportunity, if you will, to create as much havoc as they can before they have to start dealing with American forces walking the streets of Baghdad.
The violence follows a bloody weekend for U.S. forces. Hostile fire reportedly downed a Black Hawk helicopter, killing 12 troops northeast of Baghdad. Also in Iraq, 5 U.S. soldiers were killed by armed militants dressed as members of the U.S. military. As the president prepares his State of the Union speech, al-Qaeda's second-in-command makes his own, ridiculing the administration's plan for a troop increase, saying it will not lead to peace.
The president is feeling the heat from members of his own party. One senator is demanding he report to Congress every 30 days on the progress of the war. Others are against the so-called troop surge. Don't expect to hear much on Iraq tomorrow night during the State of the Union speech. The White House says the president will focus on domestic issues. Live in the Newsplex, Tom Haines, 7 News at 11.
All right, Tom, well, the State of the Union is scheduled for 9 p.m. tomorrow evening. You can watch for 7 News live coverage right here.
A trip across the border will have airport security asking you for your passport, please. A new law going into effect tomorrow for citizens flying, excuse me, to Canada, Mexico, or the Caribbean. You must now bring a passport to get back into the U.S. Airline passengers previously only had to show a birth certificate and proof of ID.
Hundreds of bees causing a buzz again at a South Florida park. Miami-Dade Fire Anti-Venom Unit discovering hundreds of bees inside a tree at Elaine Gordon Park along Northeast 17th Avenue and 135th Street in North Miami. Crews using a sealant to patch up a hole in the tree, trapping the insects inside. Residents in the area don't seem all that concerned about this, though.
I don't know. I guess if I see a swarm of bees, I just kind of go in the opposite direction if that does happen.
Just 2 weeks ago, nearly 50,000 bees were found inside another tree near that same park.
Well, employees of a Doral t-shirt company are getting their game gear together. The store responsible for making the NFL's official Super Bowl shirts. These championship t-shirts are nothing new for this company, although we're looking at Prince, but that's okay because he's going to be in the Super Bowl show this year. This company, there it is, they produced the Miami Heat's champion shirts last year, and you know what the deal is. These official NFL shirts are available everywhere, local sporting goods stores, probably a couple of big department stores. If you want a Super Bowl shirt, I'm sure you'll be able to find it.
Around these parts, that should not be a problem. Coming up here at 11 o'clock, look what washed up on shore. A scavenger hunt on shore. An environmental emergency at sea after a dangerous tilt.
A car over a cliff and getting help takes time, patience, and a little bit of luck.
And rocks flying, windows breaking, and a driver lucky to be alive. We'll be back with more right after this. Whole lot of trouble for a listing cargo ship. Not only is it leaking toxic chemicals, but a lot of its containers have taken a treacherous tilt overboard. The ship's crew was rescued, good thing, a few days ago, but now there are new troubles as scavengers scour the shoreline and oil seeps into the sea.
Trying to set, that's about it.
Scavengers by the dozen storming a beach in southwest England, grabbing all they can.
A basket and a bowl so far, but lots of Bibles, which is quite sad.
The items coming ashore from a cargo ship beached off the southern English coast. The crew stranding the freighter during a violent storm in the English Channel to prevent sinking. 200 of the vessel's containers have gone overboard, and 3 of them contain hazardous materials like battery acid. But perhaps the biggest concern is the 200 tons of oil the ship has already leaked.
To me, it looks awful. I think it's really sad, but we always come down here fishing, and we won't be fishing for a long time, I don't think, so I think it's really sad.
Police also patrolling the beach, but that isn't slowing the scavengers who are cracking open the crates and taking off with items like clothing, car parts, even a motorcycle.
I came down with my daughter-in-law. She persuaded me to come down this morning. Have a look.
Rather than recovering the goods, crew members are more concerned with stabilizing the ship and preventing an environmental disaster. Once the ship is stabilized, its fuel containers will be drained and the vessel will be towed to shore, but that could take up to a week.
Off the satellites now, a risky rescue in Southern California. A man's vehicle plunging 150 feet off the side of a canyon near Los Angeles. The driver was able to get out of his car and crews helped pull him up to safety. Amazingly, he suffered only some minor injuries. Another dangerous drive, this time in Oregon. A 100-pound boulder crashing down on this truck as the driver headed back down a mountain south of Portland. The victim was trapped inside. Another driver pulling over, pulling him out and taking him to the hospital. The victim suffered a broken arm and some internal injuries. And check out these tree huggers out west. 2 protesters staging a sit-in on this mighty oak on the campus of the University of California at Berkeley. The environmental activists are trying to prevent the tree from being cut down to make way for a new sports stadium. Oh, leave the tree, come on. The school says the plans are environmentally sound. But the tree, it's so beautiful.
They are beautiful. Well, you know. In any case, still ahead here at 11 o'clock as we continue a big test for the Heat as they go without their guns, their big guns tonight, against the Knicks. Steve Shapiro is going to tell us how they made out.
From east to west, people are putting on scarves and breaking out those ice scrapers. Was that a broom? That's not going to work, huh, Phil?
Well, it's not going to work for them now. How about us? It looks like we're finally going to get some cold weather, but when it's arriving here in South Florida, the entire forecast when we come back.
All right, Phil, thanks. And coming up on Deco Drive, give me a break. Deco's Aubrey Aquino tried to bust a move, but she ended up busting a nail.
I hate when that happens.
Deco Drive, 11:30. Don't miss it. Well, a few inches of snow raking in a major mess in Maryland. An overnight snowfall had drivers scraping off those windshields and shoveling driveways before they were able to head off to work. About 2.5 inches fell, though it did not cause major mess on the highway.
Check it out. You don't see this every day. More like once a decade. The Sun Belt seeing snow today. 1.5 inches in Tucson, Arizona. New Mexico and even El Paso, Texas got some snow. People there aren't used to driving in this kind of weather, so when they did head out on the road, things got pretty tricky.
Now, time for 7 weather with Chief Meteorologist Phil Vero.
And we continue to enjoy this mild and warm weather, but that may change, especially come the ending of the week. Right now, temperatures in the 70s, 74 in Fort Lauderdale, same in Miami. Homestead, the cool spot with 68 degrees. But take a look at the relative humidity. Boy, it is just muggy out there. Homestead, 100%, 93% in Kendall, 91 in Pembroke Pines, and this will be the norm at least of the day tomorrow. Now, the wind speeds, well, they're basically very light across the area, but they are coming out of the south-southwest, and that's helping to draw up a lot of moisture coming in out of the Gulf of Mexico. We did have some heavy activity over Broward County, but as we take a look at the live Doppler radar, all that activity has finally moved offshore. So outside of an isolated sprinkle tonight over South Florida, we really don't expect any heavy rainfall. The southeast, 73 in Key West, 66 in Tampa. Pretty cold from Wilmington all the way back in through Memphis. We do actually have 2 cold air masses. The leading edge of the first one is sitting right here, right around central Florida. Now, it's going to try to move south during the night, so it's still going to be mighty warm and muggy. And by tomorrow, basically the front fizzling out right over South Florida. We're still going to be in the warm side with highs in the low 80s. And then by the middle of the week, the front tries to inch its way back up, and this will bring us a better chance of rain. But see this blue line up here? That's the next front. It promises to be stronger, and hopefully going into Friday and Saturday, we could see lows in the 50s. Here's a marine forecast for tomorrow. Seas of 1 to 2 feet, building all the way up to 4 feet in the Gulf Stream waters. The bay will be smooth. For tonight, partly cloudy skies, an isolated sprinkle, and there's the possibility of fog in the western suburbs. Highs in the 60s, I should say lows in the 60s. And then by tomorrow, highs still mighty warm in the 80s, low 80s from the coast all the way to the western suburbs. Heading your extended outlook. Showers through Thursday ahead of that secondary front. And then finally, Friday and Saturday, lows in the mid-50s. And that's
your 7 on 7 forecast. Time for 7 Sports with Steve Shapiro.
Sometimes you need a little adversity to get the best out of your team. The Heat without their two best players tonight against the Knicks. No Shaq, no Wade. Wade out with a sprained ankle. Wouldn't you know it? The Heat get off to their best start in franchise history. Jason Williams, Jason Capono for three. Udonis Haslem has a layup. The Heat start 29-3. They score 40 in the first quarter. They led by 28. Here in the second, Gary Payton, Darrell Wright. But the Heat lead on Isaiah, and the Knicks is down to 15.